Women Behind the Kit. It's an ongoing series that I've created to help celebrate female drummers who have been influential in the world of drumming, both past and present. In this episode, I'll be talking with Tori Nance, who hails from Jacksonville, Florida. Let's go ahead and do it. The Contrast Project Lounge podcast is proudly created using the Riverside.fm platform. By using the links provided in the comments and descriptions, you are helping to support this show. Welcome back, beautiful people. I can't wait for you to hear and listen to and watch Tori Nance as she talks about the unique hurdles that females in the industry, in the business of drumming, have had to endure over the years, and the ones that she has personally experienced. Listen, you can find the Contrast Project on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Please like, share, and comment on our YouTube channel. Like, share, comment, and smash that subscribe button. It's because of people like you that we stay up and running, and I sure do appreciate your support. And don't forget to ring that bell so you get notified whenever we have new episodes coming up. Let's get right into the interview. Hey, Tori. We're back now as part of our regular series, our bonus series, the Women Behind the Kit. And joining me right now is Tori Nance from Jacksonville, Florida. Tori, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. Couldn't complain. I couldn't complain, and it wouldn't do me any good if I tried. uh, going, we were just talking about some of your gigs that you've been doing in Jacksonville, and we'll get to your bio in just a second. But you've been doing a lot of shows, a handful of shows in Jacksonville that feature female musicians throughout the entire set. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing there.
Yeah, so I have a new project. We're calling it Sad Girl Happy Hour. And once a month we have it's like 8 or 9 women. It's 4 acts. So some of it is solo artists, some of it is like I'm in a duo, and then there's a trio. And we all get together once a month at a different venue and we play a show. We do a showcase. And we just did one at Tabula Rasa in Jacksonville. And it was such a success. It was amazing. We couldn't have asked for better. And if you want to see photos and videos from that, we have an Instagram page. If you just look for Sad Girl Happy Hour, it was really awesome. And the whole community, like we packed it out. Everybody came out to support. It was amazing.
That's
And
great.
we're
And yeah, yeah, and Randy and Jackie, they have a really, a thriving operation there at the brewery. I mean, yet there's several breweries in the area, but Tabula Rasa came along right at the time when the rail yard district was, building up its community of, businesses working together. And Tabula's really done a fantastic job. They really have.
Yeah, and they always have local events and people come out and support and they have something different every night. This Friday they have like a pizza jam or something and like anybody can come out and bring instruments. They always do cool stuff like that.
Yeah, and I like the fact that they showcase local, artists, not musicians, but artists. They have people's artwork hanging on the wall, and a lot of people that I know. Uh, um, Fluology is down there right now. Lewis, his stuff is unbelievable. Frank Lewis and Kendall Schmidt, she's had her stuff hanging on the walls there, and several others to name. But it's just wonderful what they're doing. It really is. Oh, fun fact. What do you know? What do you know about the rail yard district as a business partnership?
I don't know a lot. I've seen the signs that they have out on the street. That's
Uh,
it.
all. all those signs that you see hanging on the street, I designed every single one of them.
That's awesome. Well, they look good. And I saw them like coming down the rail yard district. Okay.
Yeah, I did. I was part of that committee when they were putting everything together. I was actually one of the marketing guys over there, and working out of Eco Relics, and they were very instrumental in putting it together at the time. Engine 15 was a big part of it at the time, but they moved out of the area, and now you have Tabula Rasa, you got Lemon Street, and I know Joe Baez that owns Lemon Street. We actually were teenager idiots together back in the day.
That's cool. I like it. I like it over there a
It's
lot.
amazing.
Stuff too.
It's amazing. It's amazing, and it's close to everything. When it comes to playing out, you had mentioned in part of your bio that you said that it sometimes is hard for people, to believe that you're the drummer in the band.
Yeah, that's happened to me a lot. If I guess I don't know, I don't know if it's the way I dress or the way I look or that I'm a teacher, but like every time I go to a venue or if it said I'm a woman sometimes they're like, no. Like, are
Oh
you the
yeah.
s- I'm playing piano or singing? And I can't do either one of those very well. And then there was I get into my own show. We played a show at Dos Gatos during One
Uh-huh.
Spark a long time ago,
Hmm.
and they thought that the girl
Right.
that I was with, like real tough looking, and she had a leather jacket, and she looked real cool, and she had tattoos, and they were like, "Are you with her?" I'm like, "No, she's with me." And it took me like 30 minutes to get into my own show, and then
you know,
that
and go,
drums.
that's hilarious. Well, I guess it's not hilarious when you're going through it. It's kind of a pain in the ass. I uh, I was just talking with somebody that's going to be on the show here in a few weeks. She's a veterans advocate, and I had mentioned to her that we're doing this, series with women behind the kit. All the influential women that have played drums throughout the years, both past and present. And she said, "Well, there's just not that many of them, are there?" I said, "You'd really be surprised." You'd really be surprised. Hundreds, thousands.
I don't
It,
know how you look
it,
like
the
a
list
drummer.
goes
I don't
on
know
and
what I.
on and on. It's mind boggling. It's mind boggling. It really is. And I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Nope. I don't know how to look more like a drummer. I don't know.
So uh, all you gotta do is play. That's it. You show up and you show out. That's what you do. That's exactly what you do. I've been. Have you watched that little girl that's played with Dave Grohl? Oh, what's her name? Nandy or whatever her name is.
Seen it.
Oh, she's a little beast. That's incredible. Well, I think it's a fantastic thing that women are coming out more and more in the mainstream and being recognized in the drumming community. And like we've said, they've been around for decades, and not just the drummers, but guitar players and lead singers and all this. But it seems to be one of those you know oh, 10 to 1 singers to drummers, but um,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, most people, they don't see it in their mind when they hear a band playing that could possibly be a woman playing the drums, and it's just foolish to think that. It really is. It's foolish to think that way.
And when I go, like,
If you're born, if you're yeah, if you're born a drummer and you play the drums well, you're a drummer. Period.
well, I used to play in St. Augustine. Last year, I played there like 3 times a week, in
Hmm.
2021, and um, it was funny because you could tell, like I would hop on with some guys, like just randomly if I was out there, and just hop on their show last minute, and they would be like, "Oh, cool, a girl." But then when they saw that I could actually play, their whole face changed. Like their eyes lit up. They're like, "Oh, she can actually play well. Like it's a bonus. She can actually play." So they were shocked. Always look at the time when they don't know me, and they're like, "Wow, she can play for real."
Yeah. Now we had actually we had talked about this before when we had a failed attempt at this show. uh, that you had graduated from UNF, but you did not major in percussion.
Right. It would have been a lot cooler if I did. I majored in education and became a teacher.
And nothing and kudos to you. Nothing wrong with that. There's a shortage of teachers.
For sure.
Yeah. Have you just to segue into that? Have you found that the educational system, the shortage of teachers, has it made your job? And I guess this is a stupid question. Has it made your job tougher as a teacher?
As a teacher, yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I
Yes.
We
Yes.
can't get anybody to come in the building to be a sub. Like I mean, at this point, I think we let anybody walk in and do the job because we have no one to do it. And we joked about putting an ad on Craigslist just the other day. Something like
Damn.
that. Well, when you do it right, you
Well,
got to. It's more fun, pays better. If it had benefits, I would do that for.
well, uh, it's hard. It really is hard. It's a lot of hard work to make a living playing drums full time. Because I know I played full time for many years, and it was like playing every night,
Hmm.
almost every night. There was very few nights off, and playing
Oh yeah,
holidays, and
I remember.
and you know, and sometimes playing more than one gig in a day. You'd get some brunch gig somewhere, and then an evening concert. It was a lot of work.
Yeah, and I actually I've bounced back and forth between playing with original music artists and playing covers. And I used to say that like I would never be in a cover band and I didn't want to do covers. But after doing that for a year solid, I have so much respect for people who do that. Like it's so hard. Nobody has a clue. Like you have to bring all your own equipment. Most of the time it gets rained on.
Hmm.
One time we
Yeah,
played gig. We played at Lemon Bar, and then later we played somewhere in St. Augustine. And I almost passed out at the end of the night. And I was like, I can't believe. And the girl I was playing with at the time, who was singing and playing guitar, she does that every day. She does 2 gigs a day every
yeah,
day, almost 7 days a week,
yeah,
in 365. And you get rained on, you're sweating, you're dehydrated, you're hungry. Like it's people don't give those artists enough credit at all. Like the person that's
yeah,
sitting
yeah.
local working their ass off. I had no idea until I did it.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of work, and 9 times out of 10, and I don't mean to be banging on all the other guys in the band, but 9 times out of 10, the at least in my experience, the drummer has a, a lot of equipment to move around, and 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 not just your kit, but when I was moving around, I had my kit and I had my own monitors, and I carried my
Hmm?
own snake and my own monitor board, and
Yep.
all this other stuff. And I'd get there and set all my stuff up, and then the guitar player and bass player would come wandering in around an hour and a half before the gig. The light man would be there setting up, and now I'm talking about club work. Concert work's a little
Yeah.
different, but club work, and then of course if you got if you got you one of them lead singers that's got a great voice, and everybody puts up with him or her.
Yeah.
I rarely see them carting any equipment. And I'm not beating up on lead singers. I'm just saying, they show up before the gig, and usually they don't even own their own microphone. I mean,
They're just there to look pretty, I guess.
it's freaking hilarious. But I wouldn't trade any of those years for nothing. I wouldn't. You started playing, got your first kit when you were 14, correct?
Right. And I remember.
Isn't there a backstory on that?
So music store, just a local music shop, and I remember I told my mom I wanted drums. I already had a guitar, but I really wanted drums. So he sold me a black Ludwig kit, and I remember him telling my mom on the way out, "Don't worry, you can return these as soon as she's over it. As soon as she gets over this, you can return them. I'll give you a full refund. Don't worry." And I remember hearing him say that, and I still have them today. I've used them. They're almost broken, but I beat the hell out of those drums for 10 years at least after that before I got. But yeah, he was certain that I would return them. My mom was certain that they would be returned within 2 weeks, but they never went. I got more drums.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I don't know how many kits I've had over the years and how many broken cymbals. I was chatting with some drummers the other night, and one of the things we were talking about was busting cymbals. And I think I talked with you about this before too. It's like, when you're on a shoestring budget and the way everything now, the cost of living is, a drummer that has, I don't know, on average, let's say a club, you're doing club gigs full time, and you're sitting on, I don't know, a set of hi-hats and maybe 5 or 6 other cymbals that your favorites. And then you got a closet full of cracked ones, from over the years.
Yeah.
But you got your favorite, you got your favorite ride and a couple of favorite crashes, your favorite ones. And you're out playing with somebody, and the thing busts.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever had that happen to me in a show, but I have kicked a hole through the kick drum several times during a show, or busted through a tom head during a show.
Uh-huh.
And then it's stuck in there, or stuck in the drum. That's what I'm bad about.
I used to, because I a little heavy-handed, instead of changing heads on my snares, I actually used to carry 2 snares with me. And if I popped a hole in one, I just put the new snare up there real quick, as fast as I could, and then change the head during the break.
Yeah. That's smart. I didn't think about that's extra stuff to.
It is extra stuff to carry, but if you're in a pinch, and hopefully, if you're lucky enough to have some roadies with you, at least one. Usually, if you got a working club band, the only roadie you got is he does the sound, the lights, and roadie stuff. So he might see something bust behind stage and run up there, but then he's like left the lights on flashing. I can't tell you how many times I've been in that situation. Holy cow! But you always have to have people that have your back when you're playing like that, because even with guitars, the guitar players, their strings break, or whatever. I've never really had issue with bass players complaining about that. But usually, every time I played with any group, the, everybody in the band that had backup.
Yeah.
Bass player had an extra rig, he had an extra guitar, and the guitar players, I don't know, some of them have three or four of them up there. But there's always, so you don't have to run into that problem in the middle of a song, a set.
It would be good if I had thought of that.
I know you got an extra snare. You do, don't you?
I do. I turned it into a floor kick drum, though. I could play with my feet sometimes when I
Oh,
play guitar
oh yeah.
for a
I
one-man
think I
band.
saw a video. I think I saw a video of you doing that. I do.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen
Okay.
that guy that used to play? There was a guy that plays on TV, and I can't remember his name. He plays on that late night show, Jimmy Fallon, and he actually had mounted on the front of his bass drum a small. It looked like a piccolo. It looked like a piccolo snare, and it was mounted on the front of the bass drum for some reason. And it looked cool, but I couldn't figure out why.
I don't know. I'll Google that.
Did you? I don't know what it was for, unless it was kind of some kind of an amplifier of some kind. I don't know. In fact, Melanie Joe, when I was talking to her about some of her concert kits, she's got a concert kit. She plays DWs, and she actually has she has two kick drums that are face to face, and the one in the front is kind of like a sound amplifier. Basically, it's rigged with sensors and mics and all this shit, and she gets a really boomy sound out of that thing.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
But I've never heard of I've never heard of doing that, but it does look pretty cool. But I guess if you have an endorsement like that, you can afford to do anything. Yeah, you call up your rep and say, "Look, I got an idea for a kit setup. Maybe you could send me a few pieces." It must be nice. Well, I'll tell you, I've never been one to be amazed by giant kits. I've always liked trap kits. I've always liked small 5 or 6 piece kits, maybe a couple of floor toms, couple mounted toms. I do like a lot of brass, but I've never been one for a lot of drums, because I think for the most part, if you're a pocket drummer, that's not extremely flashy with the solo. Well, even if you are flashy with the solos, you could do a lot with a 3-piece kit.
Oh yeah, you can.
But I mean, there's some guys that do some amazing stuff with 3 to 5 pieces. But I've never been one for all those racks and all that stuff, like Terry Bozzio and Neil Peart. They've got like 1,400 drums up there.
Somebody has to set all that stuff up and break it down. That's the only problem.
I know. I know. Well, Todd Zuckerman, he's got a large kit. It's not quite as big as Peart's, but he's got a large kit that he tours with. Several kits, but he also has a full-time drum tech that does all that work for him. And he had a drum tech. I forget his name, but his original drum tech was with him for like 20 something years, and he just retired. And Todd just hired a new guy to do all the work for him. But the guy does everything. And for the most part, the concert type stuff that those guys do, the kit never really gets broken down. It's like anchored to a platform, and the platform is wheeled out on stage.
Yeah.
I mean, they just crate it up in a big box, the whole kit, and put it in the back of a semi, and they're done.
Sounds nice.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
I'm like, play guitar. I should have played guitar. Should have worked harder at guitar.
Well, you still do some work with guitar, right?
Yeah, right now, I'm playing with Elise Berlin, and there's just two of us, so I'm
Hmm.
doing the drum. I have a cajon for my kick, and I have a snare drum that I've transformed on the floor, and I've taped a pedal to it. Um,
Right.
and I'm playing guitar and sitting on the cajon and playing, doing both, and singing with her too. There's videos of that. It's a fun time. It's challenging.
I love the cajon. I have mine.
Oh well,
That's
it's
my
good to
baby.
be able to
I love
go
it.
everywhere.
What's that?
I keep mine in the back of my car just because you never know, like, when you're gonna come upon someone who's jamming and you've got it with you.
I know, I know, I know. I used to carry it up when I worked up at Eco Relics for like 3 years, did all their marketing and internet and stuff. And I had an office upstairs, and I kept my cajon up in my office. And I don't know, Crucial Eddie Cotton.
I'm not sure.
Eddie Cotton, he's like a local icon. He literally is. He's a folk icon. He used to play way back in the day with Pretty Boy Freud.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
assuming that when we were playing in the clubs back then, you were probably still in diapers. we're old farts. We're old farts. But Eddie also worked at Eco Relics at the time, and he used to sit. He builds guitars, and he has a couple of laptop steels and a couple of dobros and all this stuff. And he used to sit on the loading dock during his lunch break and play this dobro that he refurbished. It's just beautiful, and it gets such a unique sound. And he's got a couple of albums, a couple of discs that he's done and recorded and released, and still he plays out at the Swanee Music Park every now and again with a bunch of people. They camp out down there and play with everybody. A lot of jam sessions. But we actually did an episode of the original talk show and some articles about Eddie.
Nice.
Yeah, super nice guy. Super nice guy. He's going to be on the podcast here in a few weeks. Hopefully, hopefully.
I'll check.
He took that. Let me tell you, he's one of those. He's one of those guys that really took that pandemic seriously. What, as we all should have, of course. But when the pandemic hit hard, he's actually married to a doctor, and when the pandemic hit, he just stopped going to work. Period. Stopped. He quit going because there's so many people come in and out the door over there at Eco Relics. He just said, "Screw it, I'm not going to work." Yeah, yeah. He did some, gigs. He did some virtual stuff, and because I know that a lot of people were doing, virtual, playing jam sessions and that kind of thing
Yeah, we
online.
never
I
speak
know a lot
about.
of people, and that would have been hard to do, I think,
Hmm. That was it was
but
a
they
challenge.
were doing it.
Creative.
It was. It was a real challenge. It sure was. It sure was. You have, let's see, what, what, uh, what upcoming projects, gigs do you have going forward into the fall season?
So we're gonna do another Sad Girl Happy Hour at Sarbez in St. Augustine, on October 7th, which is gonna be such a good time. And then I'm playing again at Tabula on October 15th. They're having another big showcase with it's not specifically women, but I'll be playing there. They're gonna have a big party. Tabula always throws awesome big events. So everybody should definitely come
Yeah.
out to that. And November 4th, we're going to be at the Walrus in Murray Hill in Jacks. So those are the
Ah,
sad girl shows we have coming up. And then I'm going to be doing some of my own recording, songs that I wrote. And I'm just going to record every instrument one by one until
oh,
it's
nice.
done.
Nice.
But that'll be
I,
a
I really,
longer term.
that's, Yeah, it takes a little while to do all that recording stuff. I know, I know. I got to tell you, I really like Sarbez. We did some folio stuff down there when I was at Folio. Uh, and speaking of Folio, the upcoming art walk, the first Wednesday art walk, which will be October, oh, I don't know, 5th or something like that. Anyway, um, the people at Folio have put out basically, the smoke signals. They're gonna have their big VIP party on the roof there at the offices downtown on Laura Street
Right on.
during the art walk, and pretty much anybody's invited. I am personally. Teresa invited me, and she told me to bring friends and everything, but I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm not going to be able to be there. But Shelton will be there, and everybody else will be there. Several musicians will be there, artists. Everybody will be there. And if you are downtown, you are more than welcome to knock on the door and go upstairs there. It's a
What,
wonderful party. It's the Folio's what they call their VIP private party, basically.
what,
It's on
what,
the rooftop. Yeah, it's on the roof of their office building there on Laura Street, only a couple of blocks down from James Weldon Johnson Park. It's fat. They do it every art walk. Every art walk they have it there. Yeah, and pretty much everybody's welcome, really, but not everybody knows about it. So now you do. It, any of the I wanted to apologize for any of the broken video, broken audio that we may have experienced in this show. Wasn't too bad. Actually, all in all, the interview turned out fantastic, and I wanted to reach out and say thank you to Tori for being with us during this series spotlighting female drummers, influential female drummers, both past and present. She was a delight to talk to. And once again, my apologies for any audio interference that you may have seen or heard. It's one of the downfalls of me being geographically challenged and living way out in the middle of nowhere and relying on satellite for my internet connection. But I do the best I can, and I'll continue to provide quality content here on the Contrast Project Lounge. I so appreciate all of you being with us. And as always, take care of yourselves and each other. Until next time, peace. The Contrast Project Lounge podcast is proudly created using the Riverside.fm platform. By using our links, you're helping to support the show, and we thank you so much.